and roll. Keep it on.
Okay.
All right. Great to see everybody. It is half of Meet the Pressers and Writing Shotgun with Charlie. Matt is not here yet. I'm sure he's. Honestly, the last time I saw Matt was the beginning of June. He came out to Massachusetts to teach some. I hosted some classes. I hosted a pepper spray class and a UTM force on force class at the instructor level, and that was the last time I saw him. He's been busy traveling around the country and teaching classes. So that is where he's at. Yeah. Anyway, so tonight we have Stephen Willeford with us, and Stephen Willeford is the Barefoot Shooter. You can find him on YouTube at the Barefoot Shooter, and I'm sure a lot of folks are familiar with his name and certainly familiar with his face, and I'm sure they all know your story. But we can talk about that.
Barefoot Defender.
Barefoot Defender. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I thought I had it right, man. I thought I looked really good, but no, the Barefoot Defender. I got the barefoot. Come on, so get.
Everybody remembers the barefoot part.
Right, I know. Barefoot, the barefoot something. The barefoot guy with the hat. Maybe that's. Anyway, so it is great to have you here. Hey, from Merritt, Texas, from Chuck Renfolk. Chuck, thanks for tuning in. We got Stephen Willeford with us, and everyone remembers Stephen from his involvement in the involvement in the church shooting in Texas. Doesn't sound good, but he was the man that helped stop the church shooting in Stafford's Sutherland Springs. There's a town near me called Stafford Springs, but it was the Sutherland Springs, Texas, in 2017. And Matt is about on his way in. There he is. Here, let's
hook it up. There we go.
I'll
let you stand on the left.
All right.
Hello.
Hola.
Sorry,
Hola.
Didn't mean to interrupt your awesome story that you were telling there. So finish, because I was listening.
Well, we're glad you're here, man. Anyway, so too. Stephen Willeford's the Barefoot Defenders helped stop a mass shooting in progress back in 2017 in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and I hate saying it made him famous or put him on the map, but it's why we all know him and why we've all seen him. And he's got a position recently with Gun Owners of America, and he's traveling around the country talking about guns and gun rights and all the stuff that Gun Owners of America is doing to help fight for our rights. So before we get to him, Matt, dude, we haven't seen each other for forever. This is nice that we get to.
It seems like it's like a live show. What's that?
I know, right?
So far gone, so long ago.
It's been a long time. Well, the good news is I am off of my 90-day ban, so that's one of the nice things.
Yeah, I know. We kept saying, like, how soon are you going to be off the ban so we can actually promote it on your social media?
Right. Dude, less than a week after the ban was lifted, I got something that said, "Oh, hey, we're putting a strike against you." I'm like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. It's for stupid, silly memes that Facebook thinks are serious.
It was probably from like 15 years ago, right? Like
almost
something that happened a while ago before.
Yeah,
don't wait till those 87,000 IRS start hitting us.
Right.
Right. I truly believe they're going to come see Gun Owners of America really quick, and we got to have all our T's crossed and I's dotted and everything, and that may still not be enough. All the legal in the world with that many IRS agents looking to hit up consumers.
My problem is that I dot my T's and cross my I's, and they'll come after me first.
Well, they're weaponized the FBI now, and now the IRS is the next weaponized thing, that the government can start doing.
Yeah, didn't a few years ago, wasn't during the Obama years, wasn't the IRS like buying up millions of rounds of ammunition?
Oh, they still are, from what I understand. They did that again.
Great. Completely unrelated, but not unrelated on that particular topic. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I saw some job description on Facebook for IRS agents, and one of the things talked about about being willing to carry a gun and use it in self-defense, as well as being willing to get into physical altercations with people. So I'll see if I can find this, but it's a little scary. And I didn't know if it was real or not, but it kind of looked real.
The days of the IRS agent and the calculator is a thing of the past.
Oh yeah, totally.
Surely it's not real.
What's that?
I said, surely it's not real. Maybe it was Babylon B or one of those.
The Babylon Bee is having a hard time making up headlines.
It's like, wait, is that Babylon? Where's the Babylon Bee icon? Because I don't see it on the screen.
Right. You hear these. You hear the headlines. You read the headlines, and you're like, "This can't be real, can it? Like, is it from Babylon Bee or is it from CNN?"
It's a double. You do a double take. So there's some statistics I did for the radio show I do locally here every Wednesday. 103 executive agencies outside of the Department of Defense, so outside of the military aspect of our federal government, spent $2.7 billion on guns, ammo, and military equipment from 2006 to 2019. $2.7 billion.
Apparently, and I have some friends inside the industry that say that's why we're having so much problems getting primers. Winchester and CCI have contracted for the next year and a half. All their primers go to the federal government.
Wow. I mean, you're a business. What do? You say no? I mean, when you got a guarantee of sales, it's like farmers. They go to farmers and say, "Listen, we'll pay you not to plant."
Right.
I mean, how do you say no to that?
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna make. Is it the same or more money to not do the work?
Right. Yeah, more money or even the same money and less work. It's like,
well, the same money, and then I can go out and get another job and double my income.
Right. That's what the
that's from Mark. Under the Constitution, the citizens were never supposed to pay federal taxes, only state taxes. Yep, that is true. And federal government being armed to the teeth and defund the police, so take away the police from the state entity, make more federal police. Sounds like they're getting ready for something. I don't know. Something.
I did hear this from another French show, that if an ammo company has a contract with the government can come in and say, we have a contract for 1.5 million rounds of ammo. The next 1.5 million rounds of ammo you produce are ours. So they can just come in and cut to the front of the line. So
it would kind of make it where you wouldn't want to sign a contract with the government.
Right.
So devils in the details, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary. Did you see what they did here in New York? New York. So our governor put a directive down that no off-duty law enforcement are allowed to carry at the New York State Fair. The New York State Fair, no law enforcement who are off duty, only on duty. And guess who only works on duty? The brown shirts. I mean the gray shirts.
Oh man!
New York State troopers are typically the only one working law enforcement on duty.
I would avoid that.
Yep.
I would avoid that like a plague, because that's making a gun-free zone.
Yeah.
You know what happens in these gun-free zones?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She has no trust, right? No trust in law enforcement, off-duty law enforcement.
No trust in citizenship either.
Right. Oh, for sure. I mean, the CCIA, Concealed Carry Abomination Atrocity. I mean, Concealed Carry Improvement Act, she calls it.
Well, come to Texas, where you can walk in the state capitol with your gun.
Yeah, we got guests in our lodge. They're from Texas. We were talking. One's a pilot, and the other one's a flight assistant.
Well, again, you can actually come and visit the state capitol and walk in the state capitol with your gun, because the state believes in its citizens.
That's free America, man. That is free America.
And I truly believe that Texas has so much of it right. Did you know that Texas legislative, they only meet once every other year? They don't meet every year. And
Really?
yes, really. And that so they meet every other year, and they only pay the senators and state representatives $600 a month. And then so you really have to want to enact change and do something for your state to be able to be a representative, because it really doesn't pay. And then on top of it, on the House side, they have and I think truly that the federal government should enact this. They have what's called a same subject ruling. On the House, any bill brought before the House they can't put an amendment on it unless the amendment is the same subject of the bill, or the House can't see it. They can't vote on it. They can't discuss it. It has to match with the same subject ruling.
Well, you know what? You just made me think of something. And people are saying it, you're saying it, so I'm going to say it. And God bless Texas. So guess what I'm doing, Charlie?
You're switching to the Texas flag?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh! I was wondering if you were going to work on that. I wanted to try to interject. So one of the things that we do, Stephen, is we are fortunate enough to have some sponsors, and one of them is Next Level Training. And we are going to be giving away a $400 CERT pistol. So what folks need to do is they need to go to meetthepressers.com/giveaway and enter the code Texas. So that is great. I'm glad you got that up and going, Matt. I wasn't sure if you were able to crank that out while you were getting everything going here.
And
so
it's going to be that one, by the way, the $400 one, not the $250 one. Sorry.
Well, and the great state of Texas, where the old gray-haired men like myself and Jack Wilson, just because we're old and gray-haired and stuff doesn't mean you can count us out.
Well, you make a good point as far as not the gray hair thing. I mean, yeah, but the Texas thing, as far as that, I mean, do you feel that because the luxury that your state actually likes and supports constitutionally carrying citizens, do you think that helped facilitate the ability for you to be able to do what you did to save lives, as well as Jack Wilson? Do you think that played a part?
Well, absolutely. For the fact that Jack Wilson could carry in the church and train a volunteer team and stuff. And he started his team a month and a half after Sutherland Springs happened. And the fact that I ran across the street with an AR-15, I actually thought I was going to jail that day, but instead they treated me as if I was some sort of hero or something, If that would have happened in New York or California or one of the liberal states, I would have gone to jail.
Yep. It's a Class D felony if you carry a firearm in a sensitive location as of September 1st.
One of those AR-15s like I used,
Yeah, it's scary. We're living in a rough area these days.
A few weeks ago, I went to a seminar that was hosted by U.S. Law Shield just north of Boston, and the attorney that came out to talk said he flat out came out and said, "Hey, folks, we live in Massachusetts. Even if everything is justified, you're afraid for your life. This person's threatening your life. You're in fear of grave and bodily danger, and you use a firearm. Even if you don't shoot somebody, you're getting in trouble. You're getting arrested. You're going to jail. You're going to have to deal with all this stuff, and you're going to have something like U.S. Law Shield or the USCCA program, or firearm legal protection. You're gonna have to have some sort of program like that to be able to protect you, even if everything is completely justified under the laws of nature and common sense, really. But he said you're still going to get yourself in trouble."
See, and I traveled and I spoke for U.S. Law Shield. I didn't work for them, but I traveled and I spoke for U.S. Law Shield because I'm the perfect example of why you're going to need a gun. And again, I don't work for U.S. Law Shield or anything, but I will tell you, if you're involved in a shooting, you're going to need a lawyer. You're going to need a lawyer. Absolutely. if you're involved in a shooting, and I didn't need a lawyer for my legal defense, but I needed a lawyer for the media that I didn't think I never would have thought of that.
Sure.
And so, you know, that's a plug for, I guess, USCCA, US Law Shield, Firearms Legal Defense, or whatever you want to call it. You're gonna need a lawyer, and for things you never thought you would ever have to have a lawyer for.
You know, and the scary thing too is I don't know if everybody saw that one video where the place was being robbed, and he took a knife and he stabbed the person robbing the place in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy goes, "I'm dead. I'm dead." Because, you know, he'd stabbed him.
Okay, I'm getting two of them mixed up. Yeah, that was in the Bodega, right? The
No,
Bodega
no,
in New
no.
York.
That one was in another shop. It wasn't the Bodega. That
Oh,
was
God.
the one at the Bodega. It was the man that got attacked by the girlfriend of the, you know, that ran in there and started beating on this 60-year-old man, and
Yeah.
the guy was in his mid-30s and just a bully, and, you know, started beating on him, and then apparently the girl slashed him in the back with a knife. He pulled out a knife and he killed the guy. But I know the one you're talking about too, Matt.
Yeah, that's yeah, I think it was New York City, right? The one that happened where the two people came in to rob the place, or they were trying to steal something, and the one guy jumped over the counter and he ran over to him and started stabbing him. And that guy is like, he did interviews afterwards, like, yeah, I didn't see a weapon. He needed an attorney. He needed to shut up and be like, you know, I don't know, tell the truth. I'm not telling anybody to lie, but hey, be smarter than, yeah, I stabbed him to death. I stabbed him 7 times. He deserved what he got for trying to steal that little $5 charger right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Las Vegas. Okay, thanks, David.
See, and that's another thing too. When I traveled with US Law Shield, I found out, because every time I traveled, I would do one of their events, and then have one of their own lawyers talk to us about the state laws and stuff. And getting back to the great state of Texas again, we are the only state where we can use deadly force to protect our belongings. And now, I don't think I would ever, if you're going to steal my most prized possession, I don't think I would ever want to take a life for that. But it's nice to have that on the books. That way, that burglar or robber knows what he could be facing.
All right.
You know,
I coined a phrase called the 4 horses of your apocalypse. And I really try to get it across to my students that it's more than just the criminal aspect. And that's like in Texas, you know, criminally, you're not going to be charged, most likely. But that doesn't mean you won't be sued civilly. Different level of court. Doesn't mean you're not going to have the mental effect on you because you stabbed somebody, shot somebody, whatever, because they were stealing your personal stuff. And then the jury public opinion is going to be out against you. They're going to hate you because you killed somebody over something tangible that neither you or they could take to the grave. It's really not worth it. So yeah, I mean, you don't want it on your conscience. You don't want to be sued civilly, and you don't want the world to think you're a dirtbag. So it's not just about that criminal aspect. You know, just because the law says you may doesn't mean you must.
Yeah, again, like I say, I would never do that. But as for a law, somebody that comes into your house or breaks into your car or something and is stealing your car or something, that person knows the consequences of what might happen. And again,
makes them think a little heavier about it, right?
You steal anything from me, you steal my prize Harley Davidson, you know. I like my Harley, you know, but if you're riding down the road and I, you know, on it and leaving, you can go, you can have it. Insurance will pay for it, but and it's not worth even your life.
Yeah,
you know, my Harley is not worth taking a criminal's life. To me, you know.
Well,
absolutely.
I always talk back to my students, like, we've all done stupid stuff. We've all done stupid shit in life. And some things maybe we probably could have been shot and killed for. Thank God I wasn't, right? We've all done dumb stuff. So sometimes we got to also have a little humility there and step back and go, oh, well, that was stupid. Right? But is it worth dying over? Just because the law says that it is, doesn't necessarily mean we need to send somebody home to meet their maker or their not maker if they don't believe in the maker.
Well, but I like Texas's laws and stuff because it shows the price could be paid.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes people think twice. Like, should I do this? Is it worth it? I might die over it. What do I got to lose? Most definitely. Wow, we got a lot of comments here.
We're getting a lot of great comments. Patrick, one of our previous, Patrick Collins, one of our previous winners. Irreversible decisions, incomprehensible repercussions, both for criminal and survivor. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Great way to say that.
And George here says, if you're 100% justified, it doesn't cost the DA anything to bring charges, and it might help get them elected, which tells us that it's not really about you and your situation.
Yep.
It's about the DA.
You want to make that case look as plain and boring as possible.
And here's a litmus test that I always used to talk about when I used to teach defensive classes and stuff. Here's my litmus test. If you pull your gun, you think you might go to jail for it. Don't pull your gun out unless you're willing to go to jail. All right. Justified or not, if the cost of you not pulling your gun out is such that that you wouldn't go to jail for. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The cost of me not doing what I did on November 5th, 2017 was such that I would be willing to go to jail if need be. Too many people would have died had I not pulled my gun. And if it's a situation where, okay, if I don't pull my gun and, I won't go to jail today. If I pull my gun, I'll probably go to jail. Is it worth it? And that's it.
Yeah. You alluded to the training aspect of it. I think too many people think to themselves, I've trained enough, but usually they train on a static target, paper or steel, and they might have good marksmanship. But then, like what you faced, you ran across the street, right? You're probably maybe out of breath. You're trying to get a good sight picture, maybe sweat pouring down in your eyes. How many people train that way? A very, very, very minimal amount of people train that way. And like what we did with the UTM, Charlie, when I came out and did the course out there, you add that level of anxiety, audio exclusion, time dilation, loss of dexterity, television, adrenaline dump, and then bullets whizzing by your head. That realistic training is very hard to come by without being in a gunfight. And then do you also have the full picture? What if you rushed in there and you shot at the bad guy, but it was a good guy pulling a gun to stop the bad guy, and you thought that was the bad guy? All these things people don't think about. And
people don't think about them. Go ahead.
Here it is, and this is a plug for your local gun range, your shooting range and stuff, because most of them host at least some sort of competition. The one that I used to go to is Black Hawk Shooting Range in the San Antonio area, and they had a league competition, just like a bowling league, but for men. And we would go, and we would never know from one week to another. It would be a series of 7 weeks. And then after the 7-week shooting, they'd total all the totals, have a barbecue and a potluck. Everybody would bring a side dish. The range would do the barbecue, and then we'd give out trophies. But from one week to the next, you never knew what they were. So one time we walked out, and there was a plastic baby doll sitting on the table and a box of diapers. I'm like, oh, what are they going to do this with? So here's the course of fire. When the whistle blows, grab a diaper the baby doll.
Wow.
Put that baby doll on your weak hand shoulder, move across and shoot at targets. And if you stutter and you stop when you pull the trigger, that adds 5 seconds to your score. You have to be fluid moving. And at the end of it, you drop your magazine, switch the baby doll, reload with a baby doll, and then move back across the other side, shielding the baby doll with your strong hand and shooting at the targets going back across.
You know how many jokes I could just make out of just that, you saying that? Like, don't cry over spilt milk. That's a shitty situation.
But
there's a lot of stuff that comes to mind.
But it was a lot of fun.
Like a baby.
Yeah. It was funny, and you had to use the table to jam your
slide.
Reload.
Slide.
Yeah.
And then move across and shoot at targets with your weak hand.
That's excellent.
And then another time we walked out, and they've got a package of earplugs on the table,
and
they got a welding hood. What is that? We're doing low light situation.
Low light, no light, yeah.
And you can bring your hands up. You can see your hands. You can see the silhouette down there, but you can't see the targets. And you're also tunnel vision. You got to turn your head. And the earplugs were because your earmuffs wouldn't go on with that hood there.
Yeah.
And so we competed that whole week with a welding hood.
My goodness.
I love the low light, no light stuff, because bad guys use the cloak of darkness, right? Bad things happen with the cloak of darkness. They're going to use darkness for their advantage. So I always tell people, not only practice low light, no light, but also have a flashlight. Have 2 flashlights. You know, one is none.
But this is even, you had no flashlight. You had no way to make it brighter. You had your tritium sights didn't work through that welding.
That's good.
So you're using the pistol and the alignment of your hands.
Yeah.
It's surprising how well people did with it, you know. But you know, and again, you had to turn your head because now you're focusing through that welding lens, and so it made it where it was tunnel vision even. You know,
that's actually a great point. So all those viewers out there, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. Let us know how many times do you practice low light, no light? Have you ever? Is it something you'd be interested in? I've been thinking about putting together a low light, no light class here in the Syracuse area. Just got to have the interest to do it. I do it for the Academy for law enforcement, but not civilians.
Well, and all these things, I used to do these things and shoot on this team and stuff well before it happened at Sutherland Springs.
Yeah.
And when that happened at Sutherland Springs, I went back to the owner of that range and I said, Bobby, you know, what happened the other day and the fact that I'm still standing here in front of you is because of what we did out there on that range.
Amen.
It was the mindset that we got when we were out here competing, and we never could have thought enough scenarios to figure out what happened to me. But it made me have the right mindset to be able to work things out quickly when it was happening.
You know, the great thing about the stories in the news, watching movies, going back and revisiting old movies, is getting these ideas for scenarios so that you can say, hey, listen, this happened in this movie. This happened on this TV show. This is how this scenario went down. This was a real life scenario. These are the choices that you have. You've got, you know, you've only have one spare magazine. You've got whatever, a 5-shot J-frame. This is all you got. Like, this is what this person carried. This is what happened. How would you respond? And then, you know, turn the lights off and put the timer on.
You know,
whatever the situation. You
know, the New Life church shooting in Colorado Springs. I know Carl Chin. Do you know about Carl Chin? So he was he was part of the team at the New Life Church, and he ran into the gunfire. The guy had an AR-15 and Carl Chin had a 32 caliber Caltech. I tell Carl Chin, you're the bravest man I know.
No kidding.
So you made a point about scenarios, and Pierce was actually one of the first. He helped me co-instruct the very first UTM course down in Florida last September. And I'll be back down there this September, and I'll actually be down in Fort Hood area in November doing the UTM and Saber courses. So if anybody's in the Florida or Texas area, I'll be down there teaching those classes in September and November. They're up on the website. But Pierce said that the no shoot scenarios in UTM really bring it to reality, because you really have to discern that information and be able to handle that situation. It isn't just always a shoot scenario.
And you don't have to be a really wealthy man to think about some of these scenarios. So I go to Walmart and we buy what's called a party pack. If you go there, it's a little canister of helium with a package of balloons and some ribbons. And I have a friend with a radio-controlled Humvee, actually. And so what we do is we tie, say, a red balloon and a blue balloon on a string at the base of the balloons. We tie them together. We put the string out far enough where the Humvee isn't going to get hit. And then we move it across the field, and you have to call red or blue and take the red or blue out and leave your hostage untouched.
Yeah, we did that in the academy for law enforcement. I bought a little RC remote control car, and I basically stood there, and I had the students, the recruits in my academy, blow up 3 different colored balloons, and I put a little string on it, put helium in it, I bought a helium tank, and then I tied it to the back of the car, and I had them drive. And then I called the balloon color, and they had to engage the colored balloon that I called. And I purposely speed up or slow down to move it just after I call it, or I'd call a balloon that I saw was on the backside so that they'd have to wait for their opportunity, or they'd have to laterally move left or right to be able to get the shot. Yeah, that's all great training.
It was really funny because I took a police officer out there once. He was actually the police officer that was the first to respond to the scene at Sutherland Springs. He's a good friend of mine now. And we tied 2 balloons together, and we just floated them and we stapled it to a wooden target. And at one point, he was supposed to get the purple balloon, and the purple balloon went around the back of the plywood.
Yep.
He popped it. He said that demonstrates the difference between cover and concealment.
That is true.
He was still able to get the balloon, even though it went around the backside of the target. He nailed it and said that's the difference between cover and concealment.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
There's like the training possibilities are really endless. Like wherever your imagination can take you.
Yeah.
Which is really, really, really
and
cool.
Again, like you were talking about earlier, always you hear about a scenario. And I had told an apprentice long before the Sutherland Springs shooting happened, he was working with me, and I told him, always be ready, always beware, always think about these scenarios and stuff. And then after the shooting, he was like, you were serious about that. And then later, the El Paso Walmart happened. And he said, okay. He said, so you think about these scenarios. He said, what would you have done if you were at the Walmart and didn't have your gun on you? And I said, I don't understand the question.
It doesn't happen in my world, Sonny.
Right.
Yeah. He asked it again, and I said, I still don't know. He said, I see what you're doing. He said, but just play with me for a while. And what would you have done if you were at the Walmart without your pistol? And I said, well, okay, now I'm at the Walmart. My pants are at the house.
You'd be arrested for indecent exposure.
Right.
My pistol's in my pants, so I'm in my underwear in Walmart. And the shooting.
It is Walmart, though.
Right. It could be your pajamas, right?
Yeah, very true.
Well, and at the time, Walmart carried guns and stuff, And I said, the shooting starts. I run past you and I grab you and I say, follow me. I said, we're going to go to the sporting goods department. I'm going to take something. I'm going to bash out the window. I'm going to grab a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun. I'm going to pull out my pocket knife. I'm going to pop the trigger lock off of it. And then I'm going to take the butt of it, bust out the ammunition. I'm going to grab 12-gauge ammunition. I said, you're going to do the same. And then I'm going to send you around that side of the aisle and tell you when you hear me shoot twice, give me 2 seconds after the second shot, and then I'm going to duck back around the corner. He's going to turn to me if I haven't taken him out already, and I expect to hear you shoot twice. And we're going to play ping pong with him.
Can we run that drill first? Can we do a practice run on that drill? Because I'm already confused. Like, wait, okay.
But you know
does the shooter understand the course of fire? No.
No.
And he tells me, he says, wow, I would have never thought about going to the sporting goods.
Yeah.
Doing that. I said, that's because you think like a victim.
Think like a zombie apocalypse.
You need to start thinking like a survivor. I work these scenarios out in my head all the time.
This has really turned into a training episode, right? I mean, it's good though, because it makes people realize that, hey, listen, DSF, all right, Pincus and USCCA's course, luck happens. George Zimmerman, the first thing I asked him when I interviewed him was, you must have practiced a lot. And he goes, no, not at all. So luck happens. Sometimes the Lord's on your side, sometimes, right? But, and that can also be in cases if you have the training, but if you don't have the training, you don't have the luck, right? Who knows what could happen? Look at the Buffalo Tops, right? What would you do in that case? I tell my students all the time, what would you do? I hate the news, but I always tell my students, watch the news, see what's possible, what's happening out there, prepare for that. Get your mind prepared for it, get your body, your tactics prepared for it, your tools on you and prepared for it. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Exactly. Get the mind prepared for it. I don't know who said that originally, but the body can't go where the mind has never been.
Correct.
And that's perfect. If you have not thought about it, you do exactly what you train yourself to do. And if you don't train yourself to do anything, that's exactly what you do.
You freeze. Yeah. Yeah, you that I call it that delay phase, right? That the crap, what, I can't believe this is happening. The denial phase. No, this can't be happening. That was fireworks. That wasn't a gunshot. No way. Really? And you look at somebody else. Did you hear that? Did that really just happen? And then they respond. You got to get past that. The more training you have, the quicker you can get past that.
And I'm going to tell you immediately when my daughter made me aware, Dad, doesn't that sound like gunfire? My mind went to, it sounds like someone tapping at the window. I ran over and I opened the curtain. That is a denial, but we will all go through that it just depends on
how much
you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I open the curtain, it's not tapping at the window. I ran for the safe,
Yeah.
Right.
There's always that moment of this can't be happening. Your mind tries to make the people in the church thought it was fireworks at first. And then they thought, well, somebody's just doing a drive-by. They're going to drive on. And it never stopped.
Yeah, it's a scary world we live in, and everybody needs to get prepared. It brings us back to that, schools being unarmed. We're going to arm 87,000 IRS agents, but we can't arm people in schools to protect the schools or even.
Did you guys hear that? There are some schools in Kansas and North Carolina, I believe, that are stocking schools with like 1 or 2 ARs I assume in the principal's office. In a closet there, but there are a couple places that are doing this, and they've come out and said, listen, we're going to take care of our kids, we're going to take care of our schools, we're going to take care of our facility, and this is what we're doing. This is our game plan, which is really good.
I heard, I remember when this came out, and it was in Pennsylvania, and I remember I got on a couple of radio stations talking about it because they thought it was foolishness. In Pennsylvania, they decided they were going to put buckets of river stones.
I was going to say that.
Buckets of river stones in the room. And the radio station called me and saying, this is ludicrous. Why would you, that's stupid to give kids river stones to arm them against a armed intruder. And I'm like, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But along with those river stones, if the teacher is carrying a gun, now the shooter comes in and all these kids are hurling river stones at him, and the teacher pulls up a pistol, not being hit by river stones, who do you think is going to win that gunfight?
Yep, for sure. It's going to make that bad guy, not know if they're getting shot or, oh, that hurt. Stop. They're going to go there.
Right.
There it is. I can't believe this happened to me. That doesn't happen to me. That's not a stone. Is that a stone? Is that really a stone?
And the whole time the teacher's got a moment, and it just is a moment.
Breaks that OODA loop.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. It's a brilliant idea.
It is something better than nothing.
It needs to be followed up with an armed teacher.
For sure. Yeah. You can't give the kids guns,
absolutely.
but give them stones, give the teacher a gun. I like it. I
want to say now, I gotta put this shameless plug in here. Okay.
Go for it.
No such thing as a shameless plug.
I work for GOA now, gunowners.org. And we're 2.5 million strong now, and we're growing. And awesome. We're out there fighting the bump stock bans. We are. I don't know if you guys are aware, but that whole ghost gun thing that Joe Biden signed, we got 17 attorney generals from different states to join our lawsuit. And it was supposed to start implementation on August 1st. But since we got all these people behind it, then it has been delayed indefinitely.
Excellent.
Nice. And we actually just interviewed Eric Pratt. We just had Eric on.
Excellent.
Last weekend or the weekend before. I think it was maybe the weekend before we interviewed Eric on Meet the Pressers.
Very cool.
It's an honor for me to say we instead of they did this. I'm part of that, so I can say we now. Please go to gunowners.org and sign up.
Well, let's talk about this because I love our gig, and we're already in the home stretch. Let's talk about your position with GOA. What is it that you are? What did they hire you to do, basically?
Well, my card says grassroots and industry liaison. Okay, which to me that is really cool because I get to go to industry. I get to go to manufacturing of rifles, pistol scopes, or whatever. If it's industry related, I get to go and speak to the owners and stuff and talk to them about GOA and what we're doing for them and what they can do for us. Also lighting the grassroots on fire, meaning I make phone calls and I show up at rallies and I speak, and I'm a national spokesperson too. So they fly me like I'm headed for Pennsylvania soon. And so I'm going to go to Pennsylvania and I'm going to support Mastriano. Nice. I'm going to be supporting down in Florida, DeSantis. And, I talk with crowds and stuff and get them pumped up and get them ready to go out there and make sure their neighbors are ready to vote and registered and stuff. And we get the crowds going at different rallies and stuff. I just got back from CPAC. Nice. Amazing place. I did 12 interviews with television. I'm sorry, the sun is such that but anyway.
I was waiting for the light to shine here.
The sun's going down and there's no curtain out there. I'm losing all the, but I got to go to CPAC. I did 12 interviews for television interviews and stuff. And we get to go out there, and I've been slamming John Cornyn real hard for leading the rhinos to trample our Constitution. I've been given the go ahead. We're not going to back him anymore. I don't think we ever did, but John Cornyn is just a real horrible thing. Yeah. And I can talk about Tom Tillis and the other rhinos and stuff, and I'm okay with that, and trying to find people to primary them. So I
think that's important. That's important to make sure that we're looking at how people vote, not just what they say, because a politician is going to tell you whatever you want to hear so they can get elected or reelected. So listen to what they say, look at their voting record, compare the two. If they're inconsistent, they're lying to you. If it's consistent, at least you know where they stand. right?
What?
And we see that all the time. And we see that with John Katko. We put so much pressure on him. He's saying, "I'm done. I'm retiring." So John Katko locally, he's not going to run again.
Well, John Cornyn, he's got his eyes set. He's hoping that they'll take back the Senate, and he's got his eyes set on the majority leader of the Senate. And so he wants to be seen as reaching across the aisle with the Democrats, and he's playing with our gun rights when he does it. And we had a senator that was before Ted Cruz. Her name was Kay Bailey Hutchison for Texas. And Kay Bailey Hutchison voted for the assault weapons ban and the Brady bill. And then she came to a rally in Texas, a pro-gun rally in Texas after she did that. And we booed her off stage. And the whole time she was walking up saying, why are you booing me off stage? Well, you come to a pro-gun rally, and that marked the end of her political career.
Sure.
And so I'm saying all the time, letting John Cornyn know, this is your Kay Bailey Hutchison moment.
Absolutely. I just want to chime in real quick here. We've got about 10 minutes left. If you have not entered the giveaway for the CERT pistol, please go to meetthepressers.com/giveaway and enter the code Texas. So that's meetthepressers.com/giveaway and enter the code Texas, because I see we've got some new people that are just chiming in, and we would love to we'd love to have, obviously someone's going to win the CERT pistol tonight, but we want to make sure everyone gets a chance to do this.
And real quick, I'll mention too that CERT had a change. Next Level Training had a change in employees recently. So our main contact to send the winners to is no longer there. So there was a little bit of a lag. So if you did win in the past and you didn't get the CERT, let me know. I'll resend the email out to them, and we'll get that out to you pronto. I think we had one person that reached out to me that had that issue. So I just want to make that apparent to everybody so that there's no hard feelings, and we make everything right in everybody's eyes.
Excellent.
I didn't know whether this was where y'all wanted it to go, but I kind of think it kind of took on its own life, and
that's fine.
Let it
it's
go.
Fine. We're
organic.
We did a whole lot on training, and it's just so important. You don't have to have training to exercise your right, but understand that there's things worse in this life than dying. We're all going to die anyway. Someday we're going to die anyway. And it's not about how you die, but more it's about how you live. And
true.
So
true.
Train, because if it ever does happen, you don't want to miss the bad guy and hit someone innocent. I mean, that can be worse than dying.
So I interviewed, oh my gosh, the tactical professor. And I'm drawing a blank. Claude Werner, yes. I interviewed Claude Werner outside of Atlanta a couple years ago, and he said he likes to prepare people for the worst possible scenario. And he said the worst possible scenario isn't a wrestler with a Glock on each hip and a machete in each hand. And, he's 6'5". He says the worst case scenario is some guy's got a knife to your daughter's throat and you have one shot, and either you shoot the bad guy in the face or you shoot your daughter. It's those two. And it's not necessarily some big, crazy monster that's got 7 heads and looks like a Sasquatch or whatever. It's you have one shot to take the most important shot of your life to shoot the bad guy that's holding your loved one at as a hostage, and you have to take that shot. So that's the big scary things are big scary things, but the you need to practice, like the scariest shot you're going to have to take is that one shot.
Yeah. And I'll add to that, the most important thing to your kid's life too.
Right? Yes.
Like not just my life, but my kid's life, who I'm shooting next to or close to. Like, don't move.
So I found out through Governor's Roundtable and stuff that in El Paso there were 8 concealed carry permit holders that day that had their pistols, and they got their families out, and that's okay.
Yes,
that's okay
for sure.
if that's all you can do that's honorable to get your family out, and they apparently didn't have the training you'll go to what you're trained to do, and it's okay to get your family out. And I tell people, if you don't have that shot, you're not good enough for that shot, don't take it.
That's so profound. I do that with lots of people, but recently I did it with the academy recruits. I had them shoot at 50 yards because all we have to do is shoot at 25. So I said, let me see what they do at 50. I tell them we're going to shoot at 50. They're like, what? No, so I get up there and I started out, and I hit it at 50 just to show them it can be done, and then they do it. And then we get out to 100, and I have them shoot 100 yards every day. We end it with a 50-yard shot and a 100-yard shot to see who can do it. Yeah, if you know you can do it, right? If you know you're good at it.
I can hit a bowling pin 70% of the time with my 1911 at 100 yards.
Yep. Nice. I went out yesterday, and I'm working on the qualification for doing a qualification to get a New Jersey carry permit, and you have to do 6 shots at 25 yards, and you have to do it on a Q target. And I will admit that out of the 6 shots, I did not hit the Q target once, and I'm shooting a 38 J frame with a 2-inch barrel. I was pretty excited about that. And then, of course, the closer I got, there was honestly, out of the 50 shots I took, that one shot, it's 25 yards, was the only one that was not on the Q.
Is that what you carry as a J frame?
I am old school. Yes, I carry a 5-shot J frame.
We're not friends.
Matt,
oh, come on.
What do you carry, Matt?
A badge is what he carries.
It's a PPS M2, Walford PPS M2. So that's my off-duty. My on-duty is a PPQ M2.
I carry a Springfield Armory Hellcat.
Nice. I actually had a student in the class. Clint and I did a demo on that. We did a review on that at SHOT Show when it first came out like 3 years ago. And that's got an aggressive grip. I had a student that took the NRA basic pistol course last weekend from me here, and she had one, and that's a nice little. It sticks in your hand.
It has really quickly become my favorite carry. I used to carry a Ultra CDP Kimber, and I still call it my dress gun. And it's just gorgeous. It's just drop dead gorgeous. And if I'm in a suit and going out and doing a speech, and I want people to see, that I carry the Ultra CDP Kimber, and which, by the way, I can hit a bowling pin at 100 yards with that Ultra CDP also.
So you said 70% of the time. So is the other 30% because the Kimber malfunctions on you, or?
No, actually.
Yeah, well, Matt, I wanted to tell you, we just got an email from Kimber tonight. They were going to be a sponsor.
Oops.
I've never had a problem. Of course, the only Kimbers I own come from the Kimber Custom Shop. And I don't ever have any problems with my Kimber, but I have to be better with my Kimber because I only hold 7 rounds.
Touche.
This is true.
All right, 1 minute. We're closing down the giveaway here. So if you haven't gotten in, get in now. Pressure.com/giveaway and use Texas for the keyword, the code word.
Right.
Well,
all right. So what? So what else, Stephen? Let's wrap things up. How can people find you, and all of the? How can they find the Barefoot Defender?
Go to thebarefootdefender.com, and you can see my website. You can book me to speak. Go to just plain Barefoot Defender on YouTube. It's been a while since I've done a YouTube, but I did a lot in the past, and since I'm traveling so much with GOA now, it's harder to do my videos and keep up with Barefoot Defender. But you can see the videos that I've done in the past. And go to gunowners.org. And really, that's the important one, because the more people we get signed up at gunowners.org, the louder volume we speak with. And while we're out there really hitting it hard, and we are the ones again that did the bump stock ban and stuff, and it got overturned, and we did that on our own. We didn't have any help with any other group, and we got it done.
Nice.
Keep doing good things, sir. It's you're amazing, and your spirit and your direction and love for the human life is amazing. So keep that up, and hopefully lots of people will aspire to be as generous and caring as you are, and we can turn around some of this evil in this world.
It's funny because a guy from France came and interviewed with me for a documentary, and he said, "You're not what I expected." And I said, "What did you expect?"
Right.
You know, and I think he expected someone like Matt. You know, he expected a Rambo type. You know,
yeah,
right. And he said, I said, "What do you expect?" He said, "Your beard's even happy." I didn't know what a happy
happy beard.
Apparently, I have a happy beard.
So did he.
I told him, I said, just remember, the man that loves the most is willing to risk the most. And I didn't shoot the guy in Sutherland Springs because I hated him. Right. I shot him because I loved everybody that was in the church.
So true. That's amazing.
Absolutely. You know, we carry these tools to protect ourselves and our loved ones, and we can expand those people that we love. You know, one of the things that I like about my show is that I get to take people out, have a conversation in the car with them, and let people realize that they're regular people. They're no different than anybody else. They've got family, they got activities, church community, all these things that they're involved in, and that we carry to protect us and our loved ones, and that's really what it's about.
I tell people that all the time. I'm no different than you are. I'm no different than you are. It just happened to come to my doorstep. And they say,
everybody said,
"How could you do what you did?" And I'd say, "How could you not? If it comes to your doorstep, how could you not? Because in the morning, you're going to get up and you're going to look at yourself in the mirror. Can you live with that man if you did nothing?"
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. Everybody's got a different calling. So, you know, just trust your gut, trust your heart, and do what's right. And I think that will make this world a lot better of a place.
And trust your training.
Yeah, amen. And get more if you don't think you have enough. You don't know what you don't know, for sure, right? Yeah, absolutely. We're doing. We have Masad Ayub coming up in November. We're hosting Masad for his Deadly Force instructor, Clinton and I, out in Western PA, and also I'm doing the Saber Red Master Instructor for law enforcement. I'm doing the Taser Master Instructor, Civilian Master Instructor. I'll be one of the first handful for that company. So, I mean, every year I even train, even though I train thousands of people annually around the country, I'm taking classes too, because it's perishable for me, just like it is for everybody else.
Absolutely.
So, sir, pick a number from 1 to 20, please. Give us a number from 1 to 20.
That's you, Stephen.
For me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're sir. I don't call him sir. I call it
18.
Yeah. 18. Number 18 is no way. Well, he can wear it while he wears his little what is that, underwear back there? What's the underwear in the back?
It's a three-cornered hat.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. John,
that's right.
I knew that.
So hold on. Let me get this for you. So,
ooh, look at that chair.
I know, right? Hopefully YouTube doesn't ban us. So here's the story with the three-cornered hat. John Petrolino has taken the moniker the Penn Patriot. So for his birthday last year, I went and found him a three-cornered hat. And he decided to hang it on the wall, and everyone thinks it looks like a pair of underwear. So that is the scoop. And
it came up before, but I thought it'd be funny to bring it up again.
Yeah. So I'm here. I'm actually at John's house in New Jersey, where we're going to Tony Simon's diversity shoot at the Gun for Hire range in Woodland Park tomorrow night. And then on Friday, I am going to interview Lisa Ludwig, who is actually coming to the diversity shoot. But she's an instructor out on Long Island, and I'm going to interview her on Friday for an upcoming show. So this is why I'm down here in it's more occupied territory. But I'm working on getting my New Jersey carry permit, which is a big hassle. And this is why I'm down here at Petrolino's house for a couple of days.
Well, I mean, I guess New Jersey has to have it now, huh?
Yes.
Which,
Yeah.
by the way, you can thank GOA for that too, because we have helped that one fight all the way too.
Awesome.
All right. So John just texted me. He's like, he thinks the show's lagging. I don't know. So he's got really bad internet here. So congratulations to Mr. Petrolina.
Sure.
All right. Well, listen, we need to wrap things up. Stephen, thank you so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure to see you and to talk with you and hear your stories. And thank you very much for going out and spreading the gospel of GOA around the country. We really appreciate all of that. Everybody, please.
I appreciate what you guys do too. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you, man. This is the easy stuff.
Trying to do our part.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone's got to do something. So this is what we do. Everybody, please check out Stephen at the Barefoot Defender. I want to make sure I got that right. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a Facebook page. All the social media stuff. Please check him out there. Matt, where can everybody find you?
Well, meetthepressers.com, and that links over to my training company, PSNAD, publicsafetyeducation.com. So that's where you can stalk me.
Nice.
Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Good Gun Guy Willie. I know
Good Gun Guy Willie on the Twitter. Very cool. Very cool.
Good Gun Guy Willie.
Awesome. Please check out all my stuff. Writing Shotgun with Charlie on YouTube. I just put a show out with 3 different ladies who have never fired a gun before. Wow. I was out at Rick Ector's event in Detroit last weekend, and or 2 weekends ago, I guess now. 2 weekends? I don't even know. August, no, it was July 30, 31. I interviewed 3 ladies that have never shot. I interviewed them before they went shooting, and I interviewed them after they went shooting. So you can watch that on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast form of the show as well. You will want to watch it because I do have some video of me taking one of the ladies shooting and doing the shooting portion of the day with her. So that was really cool. So anyway, we got to wrap it up. Yeah, there are still some guys on Twitter. They still let gun guys on Twitter. You know, I thought Elon Musk was going to help us out on Twitter. You know what I mean?
I thought so too.
Yeah.
He came out of guns a-blazing, didn't he?
Oh, he did, and then he kind of limp-wristed. Maybe it was a little bit of a squib load. I think it was
fizzled out.
GOA on Twitter also.
Oh, very cool. Yes, check them out. Yes, Steve, I am out of FB jail. I had a 90-day ban, and the 90-day ban is over. But now I'm I don't know, spanked for something else. But I'm not banned yet.
And now they can love your content, Charlie, like Ron says.
Yes, thank you very much, Ron. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. We are going to get back on a schedule. I put some feelers out to some people. I'm sure Matt's reached out to a few people, but we are going to be getting back to doing this twice a month. The shows are mostly on Wednesdays, but they're at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you enjoyed the show, please share it with all of your people. Thank you guys all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Stephen, thank you for what you do. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much.
Stay safe, y'all.